There are lots of pros of working for an organisation. The first is really good job security, so that means that at the end of every month I get paid, and there's no specific end to my contract, so it's not like in previous jobs where I've done where I've a fixed term contract of say 2 years, and then at the end of that time that particular project or role comes to an end. So this is an ongoing job, which just means that my life feels very secure. So there's also things like really lovely benefits of holiday pay, and knowing that the work that I'm doing has got constant developmental side to it. So I know that there's plenty of time in which to develop my projects. So if for example, I put something in action for one academic year, I can let it run for that academic year, I can learn from what happens, and then I can implement changes for the next academic year to make it better. So there's much less flexibility in my timetable. Before I was working here, I worked quite a lot of freelance contracts, which meant that I would have periods of the year where I wasn't necessarily contracted to one person, so I could have some time working on my own professional development or going off and enjoying myself, and there was a lot more flexibility in my life. But that's not necessarily a bad thing to swap that for a permanent role. Other cons, it's hard to say really. There's organisational things that you come up against whereby things are done in a way that has been tried and tested by the organisation, and you have to kind of fit in with that, which is fine, but sometimes it would be nice if you could have more influence on those things, but when you're working for a big organisation you have to go with what goes on there. I think there is lots of creativity in my job, including in the job title, Creative Learning Producer. So, but really my job is to encourage opportunities for other people to be creative. So within that there's lots of scope for me to develop creativity for others, and intrinsically I have to be a bit creative in the way that I think about that as well. In terms of my own practice, in my chosen art form, which is dance, then yeah, there's not many opportunities for me to do those things, but I've made a conscious decision to come away from that and into a more of a producing role. So yeah, I guess there are things that I can't do, but what is brilliant is that being in an organisation where there's funding attached to the work that I'm doing means that that massively outweighs what I would be able to do on my own as a freelancer.